Hi, Aries. Can't leave it too long because what is it in the 90s? You could sample something, right? Like a certain amount of time. Then after that, you have to have permission, right? So Aries, welcome to space. Thanks for being here. Oh, let's talk about this for a second. So, you and Scorpio record on the same day. After their reading, I was so excited. I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna do Aries," and it was like I was shuffling really, really fast, and I was trying to get it all clean, and like trying to hurry it. Whoo! I was trying to hurry it, and there may be something in this time, Aries, right? Where this is a slower time. When I'm recording this Taurus season, so they say. So this is a time to be patient and loving, right? I'd like 4 more cards, and then we'll get into that. But maybe some classical music or some music that doesn't have any lyrics, that's a little softer, could be helpful, right? Okay, let's see what's up. There's your relationship card. Give me just a second. Maybe you want to just take a moment to, I don't know, breathe and be patient. There we go. Oh, I see. That one was just to discuss what we were discussing. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. 6 of Swords on the bottom. So this is about... There's been anything that you've been going through that was a little choppy, it'll become smoother. Okay, this is about forward momentum, forward energy. This is also where you're not fully alone in this path. You have help, right? Some of you, sometimes this can be a card of moving into new. Again, I like moving into new spaces. Okay. So, let's see where you're at, Aries. Ooh, the Emperor. There's your card. Oh, awesome. Powerful, confident, courageous, considerate, conscientious. Trying to think of some other C words. I don't know why they're all C's. Well, I guess you have a test to be all that you can be. Like now, I heard now that you know better about who you are. I guess in an earth time, this is an expression of that physically, right? Let's see what's, and I feel like this is definitely stronger in your one-on-one partnerships, but more romantic, sexual, your husband, your wife, long-term partners, things like this, or even who if you're dating right now versus, say, friendship. I feel like your friends are solid, right? You don't... That's solid. So these other parts... I guess, what are you needing? Like, what do you want or what do you need as a partner? As a husband, as a wife. If you're at that level and if you're in the beginning of, like, dating or you're wanting to date, it's like these one far end to the other, right? Again, I see, what are you wanting as a partner? What are you wanting? Also, what do you... I guess a part of this, too, would be like... I guess this is a good time again to prove yourself. Not out of egotistical things. No, no. It's like being a steady force in something, or being a place of the king is secure, right? People rely upon this king. A king is reliable, right? And it comes through experience. Okay. Let's see what's going on with your relationships. Okay, 8 of Swords. Some of you could be so close to something that it may be hard for you to see your way out of it. Like, if you're... Okay. Oh, my foot's so itchy. Just a second, but I have fucking boots on. Hold on. You know how that happens and it's like so itchy and you want to get to... Hold on. I'm pulling an Aries. Oh my god. Okay, so 8 of Swords. If there's an itch, you can scratch it. But I guess you may have to take off. In certain ways, you have to take off your armor and sit back and allow something to be. Okay? I also see taking good direction from good authority. Right? It's other people you trust. Now this isn't, I see, this isn't complete surrender. Where say like, you're giving, it's not about giving up. You're not giving up. I don't think you know how to give up. Now I have to take off my other boot. You know how that happens, like, when one sock is crooked? Like, you can wear different colored socks, right? But they need to be the same kind of sock. You know, you're not going to wear, like, a tube sock and an ankle sock, right? But if they're, like, different colors, then that's cool. So it's kind of, like, the same but different. Something's the same but different. Give me a second. I'm going to situate myself. Situate yourself. All right, I feel like I want to keep moving. If you're up against something, maybe you want to also ask someone else's opinion. Did we just talk about that? Like taking good advice from good authority? Who do you trust, Aries? Like, to tell you, not just, like, well, who do you trust to... Okay, there are two... In ways of extended family, there are 2 of them. Oh, I'm getting so sucked into this. Okay, so sometimes when there's a problem, you think... you focus on it, right? Because you want to fix it, or like you want to take responsibility for it. But maybe the thing is this may not even be your problem. It could be somebody else's problem. If it's your problem, or if it's there's things between you and others where you can both sit down and be like, okay, let us have a conversation. And then each person sits with that quietly, figures it out, has their own thoughts about it, then you come back together and be like, okay, how are we going to resolve this, right? Or like finding a middle ground. If that's the case, then you can do that. If this is just in yourself, you can learn some really beautiful lessons of stepping into another space that's more peaceful, right? Putting a place of putting something in a peaceful place. It's Pisces. It's peaceful. Maybe you want to watch Pisces reading, because I keep seeing like a the boat, the big boat steering wheel. You know what I mean? Like, who's the captain? But if you're headbutting, or again, you keep coming up into the same thing where it's like, it's the same, but it's kind of different, but then it's the same, but then it's different, then you go back into the same thing, and the problem just keeps, this is where you got to be like, well, I heard, I hurt. All right, we have to move forward. Let's see what's up with your career or with work. Oh. Re di Bastoni, which is the King of Wands. Wow. Okay. So I already recorded your reading with Scorpio on a different day. I told Scorpio a little bit of this story, but on your reading, I was a buddy of mine brought over his new puppy, and so Zumi and them could play, because it's like Black Dog Party, which I love. But it was like the dog was scratching at the door, and the very first time I was like, chill. I was like, chill, it's okay. And then the second time I was just like, I gave a direction, and then the second time I explained, I was like, hey, you don't, because it was like whining and like scratching at the door. And I was like, dude, you don't have to whine. Everything's fine, right? Like, don't exert. It's unnecessary, because it was just nervous that it was separated from something. And then the third time, I actually got a little bit snippy, because it was three strikes, you're out, you know. And I was just like, because it kept doing the same exact thing, where I was just like, I raised my voice, and I made a boundary, and it was like, you know, had to tell it like, no. Like, I took on the, like, emperor kind of role, but I raised my voice, and I could have done better. In retrospect, I realized, like, oh, I could have done better there, and so now we're here doing better, right? Okay, cool. And I guess if we just get into career, I guess for some of you, this is also where, well, I guess this is a lot of power and authority that you have over your own career. This King of Wands can also be a boss. So if you have a boss, who's your boss? How do they treat you? I saw that word again, authority. So, but then I heard that crass song. It's like, there is no authority except yourself, you know. So I want you to remember in this time that you are in control of yourself, Aries, about how you react, right? Again, there's a big test here of maturity. We've talked about this before. Mature, which my grandpa said it old-fashioned. Matua. I love you, Zumi. Matua. Or manua. Matua, manua. You can do it. You can do it. I guess if any of you have been working at a place for a while, it may also be good for you to look over what your value is, you know? Maybe you want to, I don't know, talk about moving to the next level, or talking about, we'll choose another card on that. I want to keep moving because I feel like we got stuck in that Eight of Swords for so long. It kind of took up time, and it was like things we couldn't do anything about, you know, at least at this time. So let's keep moving. What are the changes that you're going through? Oh, Fonte de Copi, the little page of cups. This was in the center of Scorpio's reading. So some of you could be going through changes with children. Maybe children are growing up, or there's something in ways of change that is creative. Oh, this is also a creative means of looking at what's going on in your relationships. Okay, if you do have children, remember that the masculine or the father is meant to be the disciplinarian. Now, it doesn't mean that the mother, for instance, or the feminine nature isn't allowed to make rules by any means. There's still respect obviously needed there, but there's something really important about the power of masculine energy, right? So maybe some of you, your children need more discipline. Somebody needs more discipline. Now, the thing about this is I want you to take this word in a wider context, that discipline comes from the word disciple, right? To train something to be mature and prepared for the future, right? For instance, if every time a child threw a tissy fit, someone just gave them like, you know, a treat to calm them down, be like, oh, you're having a tissy fit, I want this, and you just give it to them, then they're going to become spoiled, right? There's no, because sometimes in life you don't always get what you want, right? At least in that moment. It doesn't mean you're not going to get it later, but maybe in this moment you don't get it, right? And I heard everybody needs a timeout. This is also a test in emotional maturity. But I guess that's emphasized all the way around here. So please be aware of that, Aries, because remember how powerful you are. Okay, let's see what's going on with your self-development. The Empress. Now you have the Emperor and the Empress. Well, that's a beautiful, responsible, mature. You know, if this is who you are right now as the Emperor, and your self-development is the Empress, so you have your masculine energy actually in check. Most of you here are women, so you already have that. If you're a man, then it doesn't matter. It's tapping back into this softer, more nurturing space, and also understanding that in a partnership, and any combination of one end to the other, like, you need both sides. You know, you need Venus and you need Mars to be able to do things. Now, I see you're working your way back to square one, but I guess you have to trust yourself and not letting your mind or the mentality of other people confuse you. Whatever's going on with other people confuse you. You know, for instance, there could be things that other people are going through in your life, Aries, that you can't do anything about. They're just stuck right now. Or they're in an in-between space, you know? Now, if this is you, well, I guess you have to look at yourself as if you were your own mother and your own father and you're the child. How do you take care of yourself? You know, what are you doing to ensure the security of something and the comfort of something? Let's choose some extra cards to get a little extra information. Keep seeing a set of antlers. Just a minute. One more. There we go. Thank you. And there's two. That's fine. Oh, they both go on there. Okay, and that one goes there. All right, let's see. Who is it that you respect? Okay. What are some of the words that you would use to describe yourself in like a definitive sense? Like, I am a blank. I am, you know. What are these words that you would use? Please think about a couple words that you would use to describe who it is that you are right now. You know, some people think, for instance, well, if I have this, then this will make me happy. But then sometimes you get it and you're like, okay, wait, still unhappy. Right? And I do feel like if you're a single parent, or if you're parenting right now, if you literally have your own children, it's like there needs to be, even if you're a single parent, and regardless of, and I know this world's weird now, it's like, make sure that there are positive male and female adult examples. You know, because if some of you are like a single parent, I actually see that like you are burnt out. You are burnt out. So if you're doing too much on your own, some of you, like in relation to another person, you may be a little bit burnt out on that. So you want to make sure that you are treating yourself and aware of what you respect and respecting yourself. You have to respect yourself. Or maybe some of you need to figure out what you need. Okay. So you have this king, this man being crowned king with the 8 of swords. What is that about? Goes back into that. Who do you trust in ways of good authority? Right? A person, for instance, that has a really hard time with authority, or has a hard time taking advice or whatever, they usually have an issue with there's usually a father issue there. Like there was a lack of father in the home or what have you, you know? Because there needs to be, again, masculine energy to be able to feel, well, to act correct, you know. When's the last time you had a dog? Or like a pet? But I actually see like there's a doggy here. This is in your career section. So, who's the closest work friend that you have? This could also be where some of you, do you prefer to work outside? I guess I'm seeing like how the weather affects one's behavior. Because, okay, what I keep seeing is like where a person works outside. So it's like, say it's like a nice sunny day, then it's like, yeah, I'm going to go, yeah, we're working today. But it's like, if it was raining, then you almost couldn't go to work. So I guess for some of you, remember that your emotional space is going to affect your quality of work. And so you want to make sure that that you know when, and if there is something, because of course sometimes we have to do things even though we feel a certain, like a different kind of way, right? But it's like almost like you got to put on that, I heard put on your boots and like handle it. But make sure that if going into that, you're like, oh, I don't have the energy for this, although I see really good energy here. Because this also means you're a loyal employee, right? And you're loyal to your job and have put a lot of time and energy into understanding you're a loyal person. I keep saying that. You're a loyal person. So maybe you want to take the aspect of how you are loyal to what you are doing now and spending a lot of time with, whatever you're working with. That loyalty there. How can you apply that or try to work that into maybe where you're loyal to a fault with other things? I would also say Aries, you're ruled by Mars. To me, you have to, like, if work is good for you, then if you're feeling good about work, then your relationships with others are way better. You don't have time to be messing with other people's drama when you have a lot going on. So maybe that's something where you want to shift the focus. Okay. Self-development has to do with Taurus, Scorpio. You could look at this in your map, wherever it is. This is also night and day. So this is like light and shadow kind of energy, although this is more like dusk, right? A cauldron of bats. That's what they call it, right? Or colony. I love you, baby. What's this one about down here? This changes. It's like, I feel like some of you don't like the change, or like, I don't know how to explain it. What's this one about? Queen of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. I heard you can't always get what you want. That's what some of you need to tell a child or somebody. You can't always get what you want. We talked about this, right? But you always get what you need. Maybe some of you need to remind yourself where you're kind of like, okay, I have what I need right now, but I also want to work towards, I want to do this also. And so what do I need to do to ensure that I can have what I'm wanting? Does it make sense? Who are your friends that you really trust their advice? I feel like you're kind of, you could be expecting a lot from people in a certain way. Let's see what that's about. But I guess remember that some people are in the midst of like cleaning things up or working through their own muck. Scorpio had this card. So try to be supportive as much as possible. But remember, if you're in a space where this is dramatic for some reason, right? Neptune's going to be in Pisces for friggin' 13 years. So, I heard find your happy. Okay? Both of these cards are also, the self-development is also about being outside too, being out of doors, being out in something, right? It's like you're stepping out of this little place and like opening up into this bigger place. Maybe nature will give you some answers that you're looking for, you know. Like maybe the trees will tell you something, or maybe you see like birds will tell you something, or, you know, it's kind of like night shift, day shift, right? Where it's like, I heard the change of the tides, right? For instance, there are day birds, and then day birds go to bed. Diurnal characters go to bed when it starts to get dusk. They go to bed, and then as that shift, right, when the sun hits your descendant, then it's like the sun setting, then it's like the bats come out when it's like the in-between, right? The birds go to bed and then the bats come out. You also received the Shaman card, which I love. It's one of the most beautiful cards in this deck to me. So how do you connect to nature for your spiritual space too? Like to find comfort in that, you know what I mean? Like maybe to remind yourself of like the beauty of what you're around, right? For instance, if you're just stuck in the house all day or something like that, you're stuck in this one little place. It's like, I need you to know that there are wider spaces for you, I guess, but you have to step out into them with that Emperor card. And actually, for the self-development, some of you could be learning via women right now too, other women, or you could be learning a lesson about, I don't know, how to soothe yourself. And remember that you are safe and loved and protected, right? The Empress, for instance, is in the book of Revelations. The dragon wants to, you know, she's fighting, the dragon and her are having an issue. So I guess this could be your North Node and your South Node, but it's like the dragon and her are like, have a battle, so she asks God to help her. And God does. And he puts her in a safe place, yes, for 3 years, right? Puts her in a place where she is safe and loved and protected. You know, there's strong, in your spiritual development, this is also really, really strong spiritual protection. You know, what did you think about last winter? What did you do last winter? Maybe some of you want to look into bat medicine or something like that. And I guess remember when dealing with other people, for instance, that you are dealing with their inner child. You know, sometimes that's what's happening. And that's a very complex, you know, there needs to be a lot of maturity for someone to feel secure in themselves. And then what's cool, because it's an emotional security that's needed, right? And so I need to remember that right now you are the Emperor. Therefore, I feel like Capricorn's reading will be really helpful. I want you to be happy with all that you have. And feel content in whatever you have built or healed up until this point. And be ready to step forward, right? Because well, that's where you're going. There's really no way to try to move backwards at this time, right? It's forward. So what are you really desiring? in relation, because your relationships with other people was the hardest one, right? So what are the issues with other people? Maybe you want to address them, or see again what you can do. What is that perhaps teaching you, even if it's uncomfortable? What is perhaps their uncomfortability teaching you, or what is, like, how is it helping you too? And if this is you, where you're, I don't know, some of you are feeling lonely, then maybe you want to watch Pisces. I also see looking to your second house, because this is going to show what you value right now, right? And I know you've been going through a lot of changes with Uranus going through your sign, at least in sidereal, right? Lots of introspection, lots of like, who am I? And you know what's cool is I know you're doing a good job. I know you've been working so hard in becoming all that you can be. So I guess now, again, this is a beautiful time to prove that via your actions. Okay? Yep. And to step forward with faith in your heart, logic in your mind, and power in your choice. Create the power of choice. Yes, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. Actually, you were missing. So the spiritual development was also Earth, right? It was the Empress. This is Earth and Air. Remember, when you feel solid in what you have, and you're not afraid that you're going to lose anything, and you let go of the control in relation to others, because everybody just does what they will. I mean, shit, you do whatever you want. So obviously everybody else going to do what they want, right? Because we're just mirrors of each other when we're around whoever we are. So feel confident. And maybe some of you do need to work. Maybe some of you focusing on your career would be your best bet right now. Or focusing on something, right? To me, again, you have to be active. And because Capricorn squares you and Cancer, it's like work, you and Libra. If your work is good, then you feel way better. You know what I mean? Like if yes. I mean, that isn't supposed to ultimately define you, but you'll feel more confident, right? Yup, you'll feel more confident in who you are. Maybe some of you have like a really awesome business idea and you want to pitch it to somebody. Or maybe you have a creative project and you want to finally put it out there because you finished it. And you're like, yeah, I want to share this with the world. Or some of you ask for a raise, or some of you get a promotion, And if you are a single mother for some reason, and it's like the father is the one who works and you're the one that stays at home or something like that. Oh my God. You got a chipmunk? No. You better eat that. Shit, that cat is a good hunter. You know what's crazy? Is that cat, I've seen it before. It'll eat the whole chipmunk except for its tail. I actually don't feed it as much as I don't give it everything that it wants, because I want to make sure that it understands that it needs to take care of itself too. Do you know what I mean? I love you, Aries. Thank you so much for being a part of this space. Thank you so much for being a part of this life. I do hope this was of service. However you support this life, Aries, wherever you are kind, wherever you are willing to surrender, where you let things be as they are and you step up where you know you need to, and are that wonderful example of what someone could be in the world, wanting to learn and grow. Thank you. Thank you, however and wherever you do that. Yeah. Yes. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.